back to my channel. So in this video, I'm going to give y'all the real deal on everything nursing school. I did a poll on my Instagram about any questions that people had about the nursing program, so I'm gonna go through and answer those. New grad job, boom boom boom, how did I land my job as an ICU as a new grad, etc, etc. So we're going to get into the nitty-gritty, and I'm just going to spill the beans and tell you all the truth, okay? Anyway, I think the first area we should start, I feel like I just want to I want to just tell you guys some things that helped me be successful during nursing school. I kind of like touched on these things before in previous videos, but I'm just going to put it in here just as like a summary. So as you guys know, nursing school is pretty strict. If you're a nursing student or a pre-nursing student, then you would know that like you have to get 80% on your exams before you even count your grade. You got the math calculations. Those are very strict. If you fail that, you fail an entire class. So it's like, it's very strict. And I just want to give you guys some pointers on what helped me be successful in my nursing program, okay? Okay, so like I said, I did do a video on how to prepare for nursing school, so I am going to put that link in my bio. That is a way more in-depth video of how I organize myself and get myself prepared, but I'm just going to like basically re-summarize it and go over the things that I went over in there. So the first thing that you need to do in order to be successful in nursing school is to be organized. If you are a person that have a lot of things going on, that have a lot of extracurricular activities going on, I don't know if you like in a university. I went to a community college, so it wasn't that much distractions. It wasn't that much distractions for me, if we're being honest, but like if you're in a university and you're in sports and you're doing other things or just things outside of school, then you really need to be organized with like your time and how you just place yourself in different spaces and different time slots. I had a calendar and I had a planner. When it came to like the different classes, I had the due dates of, you know, all my classes on the calendar for that month. So for like the month of November, I had everything that was due for all of my classes. It was color coded and everything, and that's in that video too. Then I also had a planner, and then on my iPad I also had like reminders for something that was due. You know, I tried to do things ahead of time. Like if I knew I had extra time, like if it was a Tuesday and it was like a project due on Friday, or not even a project, like some modules due on Friday and I'm not doing nothing, I'm sitting down watching TV, then I'll do it earlier just to get it out the way. If you can, try not to wait until it's due, because just why? If you got the time to do it early, just do it so it's not on your plate and you're not like rushing trying to make deadlines and things like that. So that's what I would say is my number one. That really helps me a lot, is just staying ahead and staying on top of things. If you are in nursing school and you are like blessed enough to like be able to go without paying bills and without really like thinking about financial responsibility, then we're gonna give it up for you. Okay, we're gonna give it up for you, because I feel like that's like a big worry to most people when it comes to nursing school or just school in general. It's like, okay, how am I supposed to work and then juggle 3 classes, juggle 4 classes, clinicals, exams, and then still try to work and pay my bills? Here's my thing. I'm the type of person, I want to get stuff done. Prolong the process any longer than what I have to, so I want to get done with school as fast as possible and just get in and get out. Some people are more patient with their progress and more patient with their time frame and how they win and how they finish. That just wasn't me. So I wanted to go full force ahead, full time. But if you are a little bit more lenient on your time frame and just like how you want to proceed with school, then I do suggest, if you are a person that has to work full time in order to sustain your household, I suggest that you do go part time if you can and if you want to. Go part-time in school and then take like a class or 2 at a time. That way you can balance it. And that's what I've seen people do, like that have full-time jobs and that had kids. They went part-time and it took them a little longer, but at least they wasn't stressed and overwhelmed when it came to, you know, providing for their house and also staying on top of their studies. Me, I started half my nursing school journey at home, and then the rest I finished outside my mom's house. So, but I didn't work full time. If you can, now if you want to be a full-time nursing student and then also sustain your household, what I did was I had a monthly budget, and I really just worked like really quite literally what I needed, you know, in order to pay my bills and just have some extra spending money in my pocket. I did have a little help for, you know, a little bit for majority of like my program, where I wasn't tag teaming bills by myself. Is I would just budget, see what I needed, and then I would just work for exactly what I needed and maybe a little extra money. If you can save before, I would suggest that. If you can utilize grants, scholarships, all that, they give out money for free, utilize whatever you can. Like, just take what you can, apply for what you can, and use what you can. I had like 3 grants, I had a scholarship going, like, you know that return money was looking good. Like, okay, I'm just saying. But yes, that's what I did. So I basically just looked at my monthly budget, what I need to sustain myself and be comfortable, and then I just worked, you know, just that amount. Really, I was working like 4 8-hour shifts a pay period. What also helped me was also, well, I was always in the healthcare field. So when I went to get my LPN, I was a CNA. And then when I went to get my RN, I was an LPN. So that kind of helped a little bit. But if you like working 12s or 8s or anywhere, I would say just do your budget, see what you need, and work what you need. Don't do it, don't force it, don't overdo it, you know, unless you can. If you're a 3rd shifter, you know, clock that, because when you're on 3rd shift, you could do your homework. If it's a easy enough environment, your managers know you in school, you know, you could kill 2 birds with 1 stone. That would be my suggestion for that. Just work what you need, what you absolutely need. A little money left over for, you know, life, and then like a little savings. But utilize grants, scholarships, utilize the money that they're giving y'all. I will say be a little easy on the loans if you can, but if you need it, you need it. If you have to live off loans, you know, at the end of the day, you will get that back. So that's just what I would say. Just prioritize it, you know, when you graduate, if you have to. So that's what I would say for like working in your financial situation. And then last but not least, I feel like this kind of goes into what I said about being organized, but also just having time management, like, and like having a work-life balance. Like, yes, nursing school is your priority. That's going to be your focus. However, you still have to cater to yourself. You still have to cater to family. You still have to, if you're in a relationship, cater to your spouse or whoever. If you got kids, cater to them kids. If you got a dog, cater to the dog. You still have external responsibilities to take care of. So yes, nursing school is your priority, but you also you have other things to take care of. So I would say time management will be ordeal. Like I said, if you work somewhere where you can do your homework there at work while you chilling at the nursing station or whatever, 3rd shift, do your homework while you can. If you sitting on the couch and you know you got something to do in 2 days instead of waiting the day before, do it real quick. Especially if it's something as easy as modules you could click through while you watching TV. Okay, come on now. But then also, like, I was going out, you know, I was still hanging out, having a good time. On the way to the event, I had the iPad, going through the Quizlet, going through the flashcards. Yes, I had an exam the next day or the day after, but I want to go eat. I want to go to the movies. So on the way there, I was on my iPad doing flashcards. On the way back, doing flashcards. I done brought my computer to many events, brought my iPad to many things. And just balancing what you can. Like, when it comes to your family, yes, the people around you are going to have to be understanding that you're just not going to have, they're not going to have that access to you that they had when you wasn't in school. That's just, it is what it is. But then also, it's just like, I'm going to do the best that I can, and they have to accept what your best is and how you show up. Having that balance and just trying to fit people in where you can, and them also being understanding that you trying your best. If you're a procrastinator, try not to be. Like, what? I don't know. Try not to be. Like, just try to get it done. If you got time and you just sitting on your butt, just try to do it. Just do it, get it out the way. You know it's coming up in 3 days. Why wait? Why wait till the day before to do it, you know? like I said, the only times where I've absolutely waited to the last minute to do an assignment is if I forgot about it. And that was like severely rare because I had the calendar, the planner, and the reminders on my phone. So yeah, just try not to procrastinate, y'all. Get it done. Get the projects done. Get the assignments done and get it out the way. Get it out your face. Because you're going to feel so much better when it's done. So now we're going to get into new grad jobs. This is a little hot topic. So I know that it seems like it's usual for new grads to start in med-surg, and a lot of new grads don't want to start in med-surg. I know I didn't want to start in med-surg. I did my clinicals in med-surg, and although it was a great experience, I know me, I need something challenging. If it's something very easy, I get bored, I get complacent, and that just be what it is. You just be like, okay. I know I needed something challenging, so when it comes to new grad jobs, the trick is to set yourself up for success. So if you have the opportunity, yes, working as a CNA in a hospital, like in the ER, in the hospital, in the ICU, whatever, as a PCT, then that's good experience. If you can get like a nurse intern, nurse extern job at a hospital on a unit that's similar to the one that you're aiming for, I would say look into those. But look into the hospitals in your area and try to get into like a nurse extern position. I do feel like, yes, I had 2 prior years of LPN experience. However, that converting to the hospital was like, it equaled up to 1 year, I think. And that was like in various facilities. As an LPN, I worked at assisted living, memory care, rehab, skilled. I worked everywhere as an LPN. So, and then I also traveled too. So for me to have 2 years of experience, and then it really, I would say it count, but I don't know. It's like a 50-50. Try to set yourself up. So if you know you want to work somewhere specific, try to put yourself in that position, whichever way that you had to. I've taken pay cuts. I've done all type of things to just put myself in that position, to put it, I'm able to put it on paper and say that I did this. This is me. This is my experience. So I ended up getting a nurse extern job. It was a nice job. It was on a surgical step down floor. We seen a lot of like drains. You seen a lot of drips, epidurals, PCA pumps. I said drains already. Yeah, it was a lot going on. A lot of lines. Yeah. But it was a good learning experience. I wasn't there for a long time, but I am grateful that they gave me that experience and that opportunity, because I do feel like that was what allowed me to get into the ICU. I feel like if I applied as an RN in the ICU with my LPN experience, I probably wouldn't have got in the opportunity that I got. And since I was in the step down ICU for a nurse extern, I think that really helped me in a way. So what I would say when applying for new grad nursing jobs is to apply to what you want. But also take this with a grain of salt. Apply to the places that you want. And I'm not saying to like not be confident in your skills and like in you that you can get your job. But also, if you have to start somewhere to get to where you need to be, then also be humble enough to take whatever you can. And what I mean by that is, like for instance, like take me for example. My long-term goal, well, I should say my long-term goal, but my dream unit and dream specialty is the NICU. I just know I would love working with babies. I did a pediatric, I worked at a pediatric job, even peds. I worked at a pediatric job and it was lovely. Like I had the absolute best time there. I would go to the job. I took a $10 pay cut for that job and still loved it. So I know that I feel like peds has always been my calling. Even before I became a nurse, I wanted to be a pediatrician. But I know that me jumping straight into the NICU is like a 1 out of like a 100 chance. So for me to like be bummed out that I didn't get a job at the NICU is not like, I still have time, I still have skills to build, I still have time to get there. I'm going to get there, best believe, but it's not going to be right out of school. And you have to come to that, you have to come to that understanding sometimes, be persistent, be confident, go after what you want, but then also just be humble enough to take a step back and start where you can. I was a nurse extern on the surgical step down floor, which was a great floor. They offered me a job as a new grad nurse, contingent upon passing the NCLEX, and I did accept that offer. I did accept the offer, however, the hospital gave me anxiety. And not the hospital setting, like that specific hospital gave me anxiety. So I did accept the job offer, but I did withdraw my job offer. I would say owe it to yourself to do what feels best for you. You don't owe a job anything, because they're not going to show you that same loyalty if something was to happen or anything. They're going to get you right up out of there. So you owe loyalty to yourself more than you do a job. So I just knew the job offer was my first job, and the hospital was my first offer. I accepted it, but then I started thinking, I'm like, it's too far, I got anxiety, it's too much, I just can't do it, I'm not ready for this yet. So I kept applying. I kept applying to hospitals that previously rejected me like 2-3 times for the LPN position. I was applying to Children's. I was applying to everywhere. I was applying everywhere. I was applying everywhere that I had like even a peak of interest. I applied to labor and delivery. I applied to the ER. I applied to the ICU. So I applied to a lot of places, and whatever stuck, honestly, at that point, I was like, whatever sticks and it sounds good and it's kind of what I need to be, then it's just going to stick, and I'm going to start there, work 6 months to a year, and then get on with my life. And I just kept applying. I kept applying. One day I was applied to like 3 jobs at one hospital. It was the ER, the ICU, and labor and delivery. And literally the recruiter emailed me like not even 10 minutes later, like, interview, baby. And actually I had an interview for both the ICU and the ER. The labor and delivery, they was going to put me on, but she was like, it doesn't seem like that's exactly where you want to be. I feel like it was close to kind of where I want to be, because, you know, you're helping mother's birth and you're helping with the bath and postpartum, like that kind of thing. But then I also didn't know, because I'm like, technically you're taking care of multiple patients at one time. Like if I'm taking care of mom and baby, I'm taking care of mom and twins, you know what I'm saying? So I just was like, I don't know if I'm all for taking on the challenge, but I just didn't know if I was ready for that, you know, just, you know, I don't know. So anyway, she was like, it seems like that's like your third option, so we're going to focus on the ER and the ICU. So actually both of the managers there loved me. I'm not even going to exaggerate. They were fighting over me, quite literally, like quite literally. She was like, well, and then after us all 3 having a conversation, the terms was start in the ICU. After you get some experience in the ICU, come float down to the ED, take a look around, see what you like. And then she was like, if you want to transfer, I will gladly steal you from the ICU. So that is the conversation that we had. However, yes. So I say all that to say, to be persistent in what you're looking for, you know, take chances, take a risk, go for what you want. Go for what you want. Do not settle. Don't settle. And I feel like I'm not settling either. I'm just taking what I can get until I can get more. Yeah, so be persistent, go after what you want, you know, keep trying, keep pushing, keep going. But then also just don't be, you know, don't be too laser focused on one thing. And, you know, if you have to take something now, don't settle for it and be there for 30 years. But take what you can get, work what you can get, and then go ahead and take that somewhere else. This will be my advice for new grad jobs. Okay, so last but not least, I'm going to throw in a tit-tat bit of pay transparency. When it comes to nursing pay, it depends on where you are, what type of hospital you're at, what type of specialty you're going in, what shift you're working, all the things, okay? So let's see. Working as an LPN in nursing, in like nursing homes, I was already like in the low 40s. I was in the low 40s working as an LPN in a nursing home, but also nursing homes pay more than hospitals. And that's why I mentioned earlier that I am not against taking pay cuts to be in the position that I want to be, or to be in an environment that I want to be. To work in that pediatric setting, I took a $10 pay cut. to work in a hospital. I didn't take a pay cut, but I didn't really go up in pay. I kind of just stayed. I kind of plateaued a little bit. Probably went up like $1 or $2. But yeah, so if you're already an LPN or like you're already LPN working, especially if you're working in a nursing home or if you're agency or you're traveling, do not expect a big jump in pay, okay? And then also you have to know why you're doing things. So I know that I want to go to the hospital because I wanted my skills. If you're good working as an RN in a nursing home, and I knew I was tired of that environment. I've been in nursing homes and geriatrics since I was CBRF at 16 years old. So I knew I wanted a change of environment, number one, and then I also knew that I wanted skills. Yeah, so if you're already an LPN and you're like in a nursing home setting, I will say don't expect that much of a pay jump. If you're going into the hospital, like I said, I don't mind taking a pay cut, or I don't mind if my pay is not exactly where it should be, if that means I can get the experiences and the opportunities and to be in the room that I'm trying to be in, okay? Sometimes you have to look at the bigger picture. So also know what you're doing. If you're trying to make the most money and you don't really care about acquiring the skills or putting yourself in like a different population or specialty, then by all means, go for the money, whatever pays more. But I knew that I was going to take a pay cut. I knew that I wanted to work in a hospital, and I knew that they just don't pay as much as nursing homes. I knew I was already making a lot for a nurse. So yeah, so for a little bit of pay transparency, for the first job that I was offered in the step down ICU, as a new grad, and most new grads starts on nights. If you can get days, do whatever works best for you. I like nights. So most new grads do start on nights. Getting a job offer from that hospital, I think the base pay was like $35. Now I told you guys I was already in the low 40s, okay? I was like, oh, okay. But then I think I wrote everything down. So my base pay was $35, and then a $5 shift differential, and then like a $1 or $2 shift differential for the weekend. Did they have a sign-on bonus? I'm not entirely sure, but which was fine with me, because like I said, my focus was more on the skills. I was able to sustain myself for 40 as an LPN. I'm able to sustain myself for 40 as an RN. The current job that I'm at is kind of in the same ballpark. It's kind of broken down the same way. My base pay was like $38. Like $3 night differential, then $2 weekend differential, but they also gave me a sign-on bonus of $9,000, which they paid out over a year, 30 days, 6 months, 9 months, and a year. So LPN. But then I also do have another job. That's why I said when you move around, it depends on your specialty, it depends on where you are, it depends on what you're doing. Because I do work in inpatient rehab as well. They give me about $10 to $15 more than what I'm getting paid at my job in the ICU. And that's inpatient rehab, that's nice, and that's PRN too. It's not even part-time, it's not full-time. The different specialties, where you go, what experience you have, and then just build off. Just build off on that. So you start somewhere, you go to the next place, you've acquired skills from your first job. You are more valuable each time around because you acquire something new each time around. And each job, like I said, I take a pay cut if absolutely needed, but more than likely each job can top what your previous employer paid or match it. So you're gonna continue to make money. Or like even if you go down south, like Kentucky, something, they getting paid like $28. I think we got it pretty good up north. Yeah, it depends on where you are. California can pay like 70, 80. What? So it depends on state to state. I would say do your research, look at what the average RN is making in your area, in your city, in your zip code, whatever. Look at what the average nurse is making, and you might have to deal with a low number. Like, you're not gonna come out of nursing school making like $50 an hour unless, like I said, you like in California, and then they come out of nursing school making like $60, $70. But it also costs to live up there. So it depends on where you are, definitely. But yeah, you're gonna make money. You know, you take your skills, the more skills you acquire, the more valuable you become. The different specialties, the different pay, the different shifts, the different hospitals, if it's union, if it's not, like all of that plays a factor. So just do your research and know what works for you. Know what you're going for. Are you going for skills or are you going for the money? Okay, so last but not least, we're going to get into the questions and then I'm gonna wrap this video up. So question number 1 is, how has it been working in the field? I feel like working in the nursing field is very rewarding. I do enjoy what I do. For this to not have been my first choice or even like a choice at all, if I'm being honest, this was presented to me, this opportunity. I do enjoy what I do. I always knew I wanted to be in the medical field, so that's that. But I didn't know nursing specifically, like that wasn't there at first. But it's actually very rewarding. I love what I do. Some days can be challenging, some days can be hard. That's with anything. I've cried over the medication cart, like it can be hard. It can be emotional taxing, especially if you're a person with high energy. I feel like I'm a person with high energy, not to toot my own horn, but I'm a person with high energy and I can be very empathetic. So like just recently I was working at this nursing home through agency. And the patients there was just so sad. They were just sad. They didn't like how they were being treated there. They didn't like how their care plan was. Like nothing was the same, nothing was consistent, and they were just overwhelmed, frustrated, and just all the things. I had at least 2 of those, at least 2. And they were just pulling on me emotionally this day. I was emotional this day because I was doing a 16-hour shift already. So I'm already tired, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And they were just pulling on me emotionally all day. It got to a point where I was just tired. It was like probably 6 p.m. I'm ready to go. I'm tired. They like want things. They're crying and I'm giving them hugs, and they were just pulling on my energy, so it was draining me. And I was tired. I was emotional. I was like, bro, I literally cried over the med cart. Like I was about to pop out some meds and I just literally started crying, like not boo-hooing, but like just a tear. Like it was like one of those cries, you know, like get it together. So you have your days, you know, you try to show up for them as much as you can, but they pull from you. They pull from you in ways. They pull from your energy. They pull from you physically, moving around, getting in and out. They pull from you mentally when you're trying to help them with things and you're trying to call the doctor and you're trying to do this and you're trying to do this and you're actually trying to do your job, make sure people stay alive. Like, let's not forget about that, you know. So when you're a nurse, you are a lot of things. You're a lot of things. You're a companionship. You're a therapist. You everything. Okay. So it has its days, but it's very rewarding when people are like very appreciative. I will say after that day, the people was especially those 2 in particular, is very appreciative of everything I did that whole day. And I was with them for 2 whole shifts, and they were just like, "Oh my God, when are you coming back?" I'm like, "Girl, never. I'm sorry. I'm sorry." Yeah. And then the second question is, if I didn't go to my community college, then where would I have gone? So I went to MATC for school, which was like a 2-year community college. My other options for college was, well, I live in Wisconsin, so Madison, UW-Madison was one of my choices. UW-Milwaukee was one of my choices. Then I also wouldn't mind traveling out the state, but then also at the time where I went to school, it was just a lot of external factors happening in my life to the point where I didn't want to leave home. I feel like I had to be home and just be there. So Clark Atlanta was on my list. That was my main schools. I wasn't too picky. at all. I just want the good school, good education, and get out. But I'm so glad that I went to MATC because it was a fast program. It was a strict program, but it was fast. I was very knowledgeable. What field are you most interested in? I told you guys I want to work in the NICU, or at least with peds. That's what I'm most interested in. I love kids. I love helping kids. I just feel like my vibe just give a kid's nurse. Like, they loved me. You know you got it. If you could give a kid a shot without them crying, without them feeling it, and they laughing at the end, Okay, like I feel like peace is where I need to be. Next question is, how did you study? This is a good question. I love Quizlet. I live by Quizlet. I actually have Quizlet sets to the public. Like, I love me some Quizlet. I would take, like, if the teacher had a study guide, I would take what's on the study guide and convert it to a Quizlet. So like if on a study guide she talked about, I don't know, she talked about bronchitis, I have no idea, I would make a quiz, I would make flashcards. It'd be like, what's the signs and symptoms of bronchitis, what's the treatments, what's the interventions, what's the boom 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 boom. And I would do that for everything that was on that study guide in that one Quizlet. The Quizlet would come up to like 80 to 100 flashcards, but I don't care, because once you put that work in, you have to put that work in regardless. If you're using the study guide, you have to go to the book, go to your notes, jump back and forth, blah blah skippy. That's doing too much. You gotta do that for every single disease process. Too much. So you do that one time, go by the study guide or what Shay says is going to be on the test, take the disease process, make flashcards, the signs and symptoms, the treatments, the diagnostics, and the interventions. What I do is click through and just study. Just click through and just study. That was my main way of studying through nursing school, is Quizlet. I would take the study guide, go through each disease process. Yes, it would take me about a day and a half to put all that, depending on what we was talking about, what we was learning. But once it was done, and then you just learn. Go to the Quizlet, you test yourself, you do the learning ways, you do the matching, whatever you want to do, however you want to do it. I learned the best with Quizlet. I don't read books. I wasn't reading books. Okay, but I was doing Quizlets. I love Quizlets. I would just take what we was learning and put them into flashcards on Quizlet. You could take it wherever you go. I had Quizlet on my phone. I was learning on my phone, and that's what I see by time management. I was on my phone learning, on my iPad learning, on my computer learning. Wherever I went, I could have been flipping through flashcards in the grocery store. So I die on the hill of Quizlet. I love Quizlet, but I didn't use no other way to study. I didn't. Or I would just look at my notes. Sometimes I did my notes really well too, where it was the disease process, and then it was like the risk factors, what it is, the pathophys, and then signs and symptoms, diagnostics. Same thing, just in the note form. Signs and symptoms, diagnostics, complications, interventions, teaching, all the things. So between Quizlet and my notes, it was Quizlet for like, I would say majority of my LPN and like half of my RN studies, and then like towards the end when I started getting lazy, then I just started using my notes, but it's the same template. So the next question is, what would you say has been the hardest part of your job as a nurse? Advocating for yourself. Advocating for yourself has been the hardest part for me, because as a new nurse, you know, you don't really know too much about the field. And I'm talking about even when I become an LPN, because since I've been an LPN, I kind of know, but I don't really know. Each setting is different. So what passed in a nursing home is not going to pass in a hospital. It's not the same thing. It's not the same policy. It's not the same. Yes, you nurse wherever you go, but it's not the same. So I would say advocating for myself. I have been put into positions, at least as an LPN, to the point where I was the only nurse taking care of 50 patients. Yeah, baby, you better fix this or I'm going home. I'm going home. Don't let nobody put you in a position that threatens your license and your livelihood. And that goes for anything. That goes for a nigga. That goes for your friends. That goes for a job. That goes for anybody. If you put your blood, sweat, and tears in this degree and in this license, do not let anybody jeopardize that. Anybody, I can't stress that enough. Anybody or anything. I don't play like that. I don't play. But advocating for myself has been the big thing. Like just knowing what situations are dangerous, knowing what situations are unacceptable. And sometimes with you being a new nurse, don't let you be a new nurse in a new hospital or a new nurse in a new facility. They're gonna try to get over on you. And that's I'm kind of going through that a little bit at the job that I'm at too, if I'm being honest. Me just not knowing the policies 100% in knowing how things work around there. And you know, like people trying to sneak things on me or sneak things, like, you know, sneak things in, and then I get told later they wasn't supposed to do that, they wasn't supposed to do that. Oh, okay, clock that. Clock that. Now I know. Now I know. So that's been the thing. Don't let nobody put you in a dangerous position. Like the one time when they tried to make me do 50 patients, cut the show. We don't play that on my channel, okay? Anything that can jeopardize your license, you know you're not supposed to take them keys. That NARC count is off. Whatever the case may be, don't stand up for yourself. I won't let nobody bully me out of anything, and I'm definitely not letting nobody take me up on my spots. Advocate for yourself. If they put you in a position that's not safe, you know, that can get you in trouble, that you know you're not supposed to be doing, do that. You know what I'm saying? Let them know that that's not cool, that's not gonna slide. If they like, even like my job now, my hours, they've been putting me on call more than what they should be. So that's why I'm saying, that's why I said that it's like really my if they could sustain me here, because y'all been putting me on call, y'all keeping my hours short. Y'all not supposed to be putting me on call that much. So what I start doing, they put me on call, I don't go. You put me on call, you call me in, I'm not going, because I wasn't supposed to be on call in the first place. I wasn't supposed to be on call in the first place. Y'all supposed to go to a rotation. Why am I on call once a week? Y'all playing. Y'all playing. You know what I'm saying? So now you put me on call, you call me, I'm not coming. Because I wasn't supposed to be there in the first place. I'm supposed to be at work. But since you don't want me at work, you can't call me to be at work when I want to be at work. They, like I said, when you have a mixed acuity, if you have med surg and step down, we're not supposed to have more than 5. Well, one night, they got an admission and gave me the admission, gave me 5 when I had 2 step down patients, and the admission was step down her damn self. So I had 3 step down patients and 2 med surg patients, and that was not supposed to happen. That was not supposed to happen. And I didn't advocate for myself in that situation, and I should have. So just advocate for yourself. If it's not safe, if it's not something that you should be doing, that you know it's not something you should be doing, this, you know it's not something that you're comfortable doing, don't do it. Like, don't let a job play you, and don't let nobody trick you out your spot, period. And the last question is, what are some lessons you have learned within nursing that you use in your everyday life? A lot. Patience, compassion, kindness. I know a lot of people say you don't have to like your job in order to be a nurse, but you have to like helping people to a certain extent. And what I mean by that is, no, you don't have to like your job in order to be good at it. You can be good at your job, but also you won't last long in the nursing field if you don't have a knack for like helping people. Yeah, if you don't have a knack for helping people, I would just say this is just not the field for you. And I know, like I keep saying, a lot of people say you don't have to like it. I don't have to like it to do it and be good at it. You don't. But you have to like it. You don't have to like it, but you have to exude a certain type of energy and be a certain type of person in order to last long in this field. You would hate to like, oh, I don't have to like nursing. I don't care. I'm just in it because it's a career. It's a career. Pay my bills. You in it. You put your blood, sweat, and tears in a degree that you worked for 2 to 4 years for. You know, do all this, pass the NCLEX to go into nursing for a month or 2 and you absolutely hate it and you have to start over to something that you like because you cannot stand it. Like, you cannot stand it. You know it's not for you. You're not built for it. You don't have the patience for it. You can't do it. You don't have to like it, but you have to have a knack and be able to be patient and to be compassionate with people. Don't get me wrong. I have my days where I'm snapping. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little irritated. I got a little attitude, but my patients won't feel that. They might feel it just because, you know, but they won't feel that. They won't be like, she was mean towards me. She was short with me. I can be arguing with my man, you know, at work, and I'm going in my patient's room with a smile. What do you need, Margaret? Hello? Like, you have to be able, even if it's a face, it has to be a face that you can put on for a long time, or you're not going to last long. You're not going to last long. You have to understand that these are people at their absolute lowest. They're at their absolute lowest. they're withdrawn, they're in pain, they can't do what they used to do, they can't move how they used to do. They just realize they got this terminal illness, they just realize they got this disease process that's chronic, they're never going to get rid of it. They just realize they'll never be able to breathe regular oxygen, you know, they'll never be able to breathe room air again. They always have to carry an oxygen tank. They just realize that they lost their leg, they have to rehab, and they don't have they don't have an extremity beyond the knee. Like, they just realize they have cancer. They just realize they have a heart defect. They just had heart surgery. Like, you have brain surgery. You have to understand that these are people at their lowest, their absolute lowest. And then for you to be somebody that's not compassionate or somebody that don't care, you in it because it pay your bills. It's just not gonna work out. It's just a waste of your time, waste of your money, your energy. It's a waste of your degree. It's a waste of all of that. It's a waste of all of that. So anyway, answer the question. Some lessons that I've learned in nursing is to be compassionate. To be compassionate, to be empathetic. You never know what the other person is going through. And no, that doesn't give anybody an excuse to treat you wrong and to be rude and disrespectful. But just also to give people some grace sometimes, because you just never know what they're going through. You never know what's going on in somebody's life. So I just give people grace the best way I can. It might, you know, the grace I might give somebody on Monday might not be the grace I give you on Tuesday. My grace might be a little thin on Tuesday, but it's still some there. It's, you know, it's still some there. And another lesson I would say is to keep going. If nursing haven't taught me anything, is you have to keep going. If, like I said, if I'm going through a breakup at work, room 307 don't care. She want her medicine. She want her pain meds and her oxy. She do not care that I'm breaking up with my man right now. She don't care, okay? You know, you just have to keep going. And I learned that, like, just when things don't happen the way that you want it to happen, even in the outside life, things don't line up how you want it to line up, just keep going. Just keep going, keep trapping, keep going. Like, you know, when I'm in the hospital, something happened, I have to keep going. I can't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. That'd be my two main lessons, I would say. I'm just gonna give two because this video is pretty long. And with that being said, I am gonna go ahead and finish the video here. So I hope that this video gave you guys some pointers and some inside scoop of how nursing school is and how it is working as a nurse. I tried to drop some gems and give y'all the real tea. So clock that. And I hope that if you're in nursing school or you're planning to go in nursing school, that your journey is successful and that you are fulfilled in this career and it's everything that you wanted it to be. So thank you guys for watching and for tuning into my video, and make sure you guys tune in for more.